Hi,
Hey, hi Megha, how are you doing?
I'm good. What about you?
Good, good, good. Let's just
Yes.
get all good. You can hear
Yeah,
my
yeah.
voice all clear?
Absolutely. I can.
Good,
I'm
good,
just
good.
setting my phone. I don't have a stand today, so I'm just trying to fix it. Let's see. Okay, good. Yes.
So let's welcome all our mommies today. As a partner to a woman in labor, the biggest role is to provide support and encouragement during the entire childbirth process. What's the best way to do it? What to expect? Do you understand the different stages of labor? You have any idea how to time the contractions, when to rush to the hospital, and the most important one, have you discussed the birth plan with your partner? Do not worry, mothers. I'm not here to scare you today, but with a very interesting and on demand topic from all our followers. How can we prepare or how can we help our partners to prepare for labor and to support the same? Today I have with us our own Megha Khanduja. She is founder at Mothering Mothers, Lama certified childbirth educator, a birth doula, microbiome baby approved instructor, hypnobirthing educator, and a mother herself. So welcome Megha Khanduja today to please prep us all for labor along with our partners. What is the process? How can a mother go forward with that? A
Great.
very warm welcome, Megha.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And kudos to you. The way you started, this live, it is a very, very, very well done work.
Thank you so much, dear. But Megha, before we start up with the topic, definitely I'd like to know more about Mothering Mothers.
Sure.
What motivated you to begin this platform?
Yeah. So, well, thank you so much for introducing me and inviting me to this platform.
You're welcome.
Um, so, yes, I mean, I never thought of becoming a birth coach. You never planned to become a birth coach, right? So, my job was in a totally different arena and absolutely have no correlation to whatsoever what I'm doing today. However, it was really the birth of my second child. He was born 4 years back, which really inspired me, um, to get into this space and to learn more about this topic. And gradually, I started finding myself taking more interest in this, right? So today, this has opened up multiple avenues, and honestly, I am very passionate about this topic today. Um, there is this desire to work very closely with pregnant couples, with moms, and to really, encourage them by empowering them with the right tools and knowledge that they will need to make informed decisions from them for themselves, right? So, I think through Mothering Mothers, I try best to minimize that fear of childbirth, okay, the fear of pain, okay, which is there. And I think according to me, any mom, goes through pregnancy with fear, with anxiety, with a lot of questions in her head, whether it's your first pregnancy or your second pregnancy, right? So I think through the range of services that we offer, which is hypnobirthing classes, Lama's prenatal classes, doula services, I try to help moms by minimizing that fear of childbirth so that they can enjoy this time more. Now, you asked me how I started this. So, just to give you some quick background. So, um, my second baby was born through a VBAC. So, a VBAC is a vaginal birth after a cesarean. And, I was really determined for a VBAC to an extent that I even changed my healthcare provider in my 38 weeks in my second pregnancy and went to a hospital which was almost like 40-45 kilometers away from where I used to stay. Right. But I think with the right team and with my own preparation, which I did, which was mental, physical, I had an amazing birth experience. I think the birth went very smooth. I chose to stay calm, not scream. I was regularly doing my breathing, my affirmations, my visualizations. The doctors allowed me to move freely when I was in labor. I was not confined to bed. I was allowed to eat and drink. There were no unnecessary interventions which were given to me. right? I think, and immediately after birth, there was skin to skin, there was an immediate latching, delayed umbilical cord clamping. And I think this experience was so empowering and so enriching that I thought that if I could, gain this experience, I should be going and empowering other couples as well. So I think, to cut the long story short, what our listeners can take away from the story are 2 points. One, the belief that once a C section, always a C section is not true, right? And secondly, pregnancy and birth are important life changing events that comes with physical, emotional, and relationship changes as well. So choosing the right healthcare provider for you is a very important aspect of the process. Do your homework, that which doctor, which hospital is the best for you. Always remember that if a particular doctor worked well for your friend or for your relative, may not work for you. Unfortunately, what happens is that, today, a lot of, people like you and me, we suffer from that white coat syndrome. The doctor is always right, right? So, I mean, I think, just make those decisions appropriately is what I will recommend.
Wow. I mean, like, so that is really motivating. I must say, this is really a whiteboard thing, because with my first pregnancy, I always said that the one mistake is always a C-section. You'll never be able to
Yeah.
deliver normally post that.
Mhm. But okay, so you were told that it will be a repeat C-section.
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay.
It's like a compulsion. We were never given second option that, okay, this is also the possibility.
Actually, forget about giving an option. I don't think, I just know handful of doctors who will even give you a choice, or who will even inform you that you have this choice available to you, right? It is unfortunate that VBAC is, I mean, is, I mean, I can, I think we have to do a separate, I can leave live on VBAC, but
Right.
it is a choice which should be given to, mothers and, second time moms, third time moms, whosoever, if you had a prior C-section. So absolutely.
So good, good. So let's take up today's topic, as we'll be coming back with the VBAC topic
Yeah.
again next time. So about today's topic, Megha, make us understand more about the labor and the childbirth.
Okay. So what exactly do you want to know about labor and childbirth?
When the word comes labor, when the word comes childbirth, right
Yeah.
from the second trimesters only, mothers start panicking about the pain,
Okay.
about that process.
Mm-hmm.
So as a expert, what is
Mm-hmm.
that you want to suggest to a mother?
Okay. So I will, okay. So I will talk about why childbirth experience matters so much. Okay. So, a lot of time, I have seen that when it comes to pregnancy, people always relate pregnancy to the birth of a baby and the care of the baby. Okay.
Absolutely.
But it's not just the baby, it's also the birth of parents, it's also the birth of a mother. And in the age of internet today, everybody is overloaded with so much of information. There is staggering amount of information available on the net. Some is reliable and some is not, right? But you will always see a correlation between that and fear, right? A lot of people today are more fearful about childbirth, even though childbirth is much safer today than it has ever been, right? They are fearful, what will they do in birth? Breastfeeding kaise hoega? How will I know that I'm in actual labor? When do I have to go to the hospital? Correct? Do I even have, rights? Do I even have any birth rights? Do I even have any options? Is epidural my only option to find, relief from pain? So, and moms go through these list of questions. Okay, so research have always shown that women recall their birth experiences for many, many years. So after you have given birth to your baby, you will remember the major facts of the experience, such as how were you treated in labor, how did you felt during contractions, and this everything put together makes up that unique experience for you. Some parents, I have seen having positive, empowering birth memories. These parents feel that they were treated with kindness, their preferences were taken care, but at the same time, you have many couples who remember this experience with shame, with anger. And these parents feel that they were literally disrespected and were powerless during childbirth. So I think at the end of the day, one thing which I will tell you is that, see, nobody has complete control over pregnancy and childbirth. But, going back to my earlier point, the decisions you make during pregnancy are going to affect your memory of your birth experience. By making decisions that will have you experience a satisfying birth experience are going to increase your chances of good memories, right? And I think the mantra, is to keep childbirth simple. Prepare yourself, and when I say prepare, I mean attend Lamaze classes, attend hypnobirthing classes. And I'm sorry, I'll just take one more minute, but I think it's really
Sure.
important for our listeners to know that uh, okay, let me take a step back. I think the listeners may feel that, okay, Megha is talking all this English, but how do we really make childbirth simple, right? And I think I can give you here six, mantras that you can keep that can really help you in making that childbirth, safe and that experience more enriching. One is that let labor begin on its own. Normal pregnancies can last anywhere between 38 to 42 weeks. Natural start of labor means that your body and your baby are ready to be born. Okay, so it's a myth that the minute you are around your 40th week, you have to be induced or you have to take in for a C-section. No, let your body go into labor on its own. Second, walk and move around and change positions in labor. So, using upright positions and helping gravity, okay, is going to really help the baby move down the pelvis much more effectively. And you will be able to manage those contractions very well. Okay. Third is, bring a loved one, friend, or a doula for continuous support, right? So physical support can help decrease pain perceptions. Fourth, avoiding interventions which are not medically necessary. Why? Because many of these interventions are going to disrupt the birthing process, making it more difficult. Fifth, avoiding giving birth on your back. Use gravity to your advantage to shorten the pushing stage. Push when your body tells you. And last, keeping the mother and baby together. So immediate skin to skin after birth and delayed umbilical cord clamping have many benefits. So all these six mantras which I give you, I haven't created them. These are best practices of Lamaze, right? But I think if a mom follows this, right, they will be able to experience a much more enriching, childbirth experience.
Definitely, definitely. I'm sure our mothers will be, all our listeners will be amazed with all these 6 pointers and they are going to follow it. So moving on to the next thing, Megha, what does continuous labor support look like in labor and why is it important for the mom?
Okay. I'm glad you're asking this question. So I'll give you some background to this, okay? So
Mm-hmm.
in the past, women have been cared for and supported by other women during labor and birth, right? And have had someone with them throughout, which we call continuous support today, right? However, in many countries, nowadays, more women are giving birth in the hospitals rather than at home, right? And research continuously shows that the support that the woman will get when she is in labor is going to really benefit her long term. The support may include emotional support, which is reassurance, praise during labor. It could be information about labor progress. Okay, it may also include advice about coping techniques, coping measures like comfort touch, massages, warm baths, when to take a shower, how to encourage mobility, promoting adequate fluid intake and output, right? And speaking up when needed on behalf of the women. So I think lack of continuous support during childbirth has led to concerns that the experience of labor and birth may have become dehumanized. So when I'm talking about continuous labor support, I do want to talk about doulas over here, right? So I am a doula. A doula is a professional who has been trained in childbirth and who provides the emotional, physical, and informational support to a mother and their birth partners. So I think having one attend your birth can be an amazing help in increasing the birth experience you want and can drastically decrease your chances of requiring an intervention or a C-section, right? So we provide help as doulas, we provide help not just during labor, but also into the birth and also postpartum, right? So birth doula will meet the couples in the third trimester, anytime after 26 weeks. Okay. And we work with couples very closely to help them dealing with any sort of fear and anxiety that they may have. We help them create a birth preference chart, decide and understanding from the mom that what comfort measures does she finds the best suitable for her, right? So, we help the mom and the partner prepare for birth and labor. And we literally handhold you. And why I'm saying, doulas are so beneficial, because there is a whole research and study which has gone into this, that if you have a doula attending your birth, it reduces the chances of a cesarean delivery by 50%. The duration of labor gets reduced by 25%. We have seen mothers requests asking for epidural coming down by 60%. So women, and the most important thing is that moms have reported a more positive and a satisfying childbirth experience when they are supported by a doula. So I think, a birth doula is, when you ask me, why should somebody hire a birth doula? I will say, why not hire a birth doula when the benefits are so many?
Definitely.
And under the doula program, today we have got two categories. We have an in-person doula service and we have a virtual doula. So the virtual doula program I'm running in collaboration with Sanctum, which is, premium natural birthing center in Hyderabad.
Right.
And Dr. Vijaya Krishnan is a founder of Sanctum. She's also a midwife. And I think it's a one-stop destination for any women who wants to experience a natural birth away from any sort of unnecessary medical interventions. And why virtual doula? Because I think virtual doula is an extension of a service to be more accessible to our clients, regardless of the distance or time of day and night, right? Plus, what we have noticed is that at the time of COVID, hospital policies are restricting many people in the labor room. Also,
Right.
at times, mother could be in a city or a state. They could be in India, out of India, where they don't have access to a doula. So, virtual doula support can really go a long way, in providing that comfort.
Right. So, Mika, as you have used this word twice or thrice, the interventions at the hospital. So, exactly
Yes.
what are the interventions that really come in the way of a mother during the labor? How safe they are, and how can a mother respond towards it?
So, okay, very good question. The interventions are just so many when a woman is in labor. For example, there is a continuous use of electronic fetal monitoring, okay, when the
Okay.
mom is in labor.
Yes.
So it is a protocol in many hospitals. The minute the mom will land in the hospital, they will tie her to the bed and they will, start regularly monitoring the baby's fetal heartbeat and tracking the progress of the mother. The biggest advantage is that because the mother is tied onto the bed, her mobility gets restricted. And remember, I just told you in one of the healthy birth practices that movement in labor is important. Now,
Right.
once you are tied up to a bed, how will you move? Right? That's a first intervention. Okay.
Oh,
Electronic fetal monitoring is definitely recommended when a mother is taking an epidural, okay, or she has been induced, or we know the mother has a very high case of gestational diabetes or extremely high, blood pressure,
okay.
okay. But should it become a protocol for every low risk healthy mother? Not at all. Second, restrictions on eating and drinking. I have a question to you. Do you run marathons? Forget
Not
about marathon. Do you go for regular walking, jogging? You must be doing some exercise, okay? Gymming, something, okay? Zumba, something. Imagine after, your body, and while you are doing, say, Zumba, don't we feel thirsty in between because our body gets tired, right?
yeah.
Tell me something, if I restrict you from drinking at that point of time, your it'll be so difficult for you to continue with your exercise regime.
Definitely.
Similarly, when you see marathon runners, okay, the full marathon runners or half, whatever it is, they always keep themselves hydrated by eating and drinking. When you are in labor, your uterus is the biggest muscle that you have in your body. It is running a marathon right now. If you restrict that mother to eat and drink, how will that uterus work to its full capacity? The uterus will get tired, and when it gets tired, when there is no energy, labor could stall, it could even stop. On the contrary, we have seen in hospitals, doctors will come and say, oh, you can't eat, you can't drink, but we will give you an IV line. IV line so that you don't get dehydrated. When the mother is capable of eating and drinking, why is she not allowed to eat and drink? Do you know when a mother is given an IV line, again, she gets restricted to the bed, her mobility gets restricted. Secondly, there is a fluid overdose. When the fluid overdose happens, mother comes out of that birth with everything swelled up. Eyes, hands, mouth. It even leads to breast engorgements. Even the baby, gets that excessive fluid. And we have seen when mothers, after the delivery of the baby, they find it difficult to even latch on to the baby, to their breast, right? Then,
Right.
simple, restrictions on movements. So, I mean, my point is that when you are in labor, time, clock, and bed has no value. Unfortunately, these are the two most important things which are given to women nowadays in labor, right? First time mothers, on an average, their labor may continue, their labor may last for, say, 3 days to maybe 24 hours to 18 hours, okay? First time moms, okay? But we have seen hospitals, the minute you feel that you are in labor, they will call you, they will induce you, they will wait for a certain period of time. And if the mother has not made progress, the next thing they will say, come, we will, take you for a C-section.
Right.
Okay, you are not letting the mother's body open up naturally to that, to that baby. The baby takes time to come out. It's not कि labor pain शुरू हुआ and बच्चा pop out करके निकल गया. It's a process which happens. Your
Yeah.
cervix has to soften, it has to dilate, and then the baby has to move down to the pelvis and come out. It's a process, it needs time. And hence, I say, birth partners who are there with the mothers, the biggest thing you need to have with you is patience. Birth is a natural process, it will take its own time. Third intervention, okay, and nowadays I've seen doctors, the minute the mother touches 38 weeks, oh, now we are expecting COVID fourth wave to come. So what you do is, Megha, you come to the hospital and we will induce you. Why? What will happen if you are going to induce her? Any which ways, in India we don't do home births. So whether she goes into labor by herself, or whether you are inducing her or you are doing the C-section, she will any which ways have to come to the hospital. What is the guarantee? Like this, she will not get COVID, and but if she delivers naturally, she will get COVID. So it's bizarre. In the olden days, our grandmothers, our nannies, and the oldies used to say that uh, birth and pregnancy are always 40 weeks and plus 9 days, which comes to 42 weeks. Aaj tak to 40 weeks, they don't even wait for 38 weeks. You know, last, big babies. Oh, you know what, Megha? I think your pelvis is too small. You don't have the possibility of delivering this baby naturally. How do you know how big my pelvis is? How do you know my baby is so big? The scans are the biggest culprit over here. If when I am carrying a baby, that baby is going to be averaging me and my partner, right? In terms of the structure, it is a baby which can fit into my pelvis, right? हम कभी किसी शेरनी को बच्चा करते हुए देखे हैं? You go and touch her and tell her, I'm going to induce her, she's going to eat you up. And we are the lioness in the labor room. That
Yes.
zone is our zone. Let us be the way we want to be. Don't put so many interventions on us. And after saying all of these things, of course, at times interventions do become necessary. There's a medical reason. But those reasons are just handful. 95% of low risk mothers can deliver babies naturally.
You might be seeing me smiling this big that every time you have said the interventions, I'm sorry to say I went through all of them. And I didn't know actually, because the moment you are in the hospital, the first thing that you have said is, okay, you need IV, you have to be in the bed, and they don't wait beyond 38 weeks. That's the biggest fact. And I seriously, that's like a big thing to know for me also, that these interventions can be very easily avoided if you are guided or if you are educated about these things. Might be in your
Exactly.
second trimesters or the third trimesters only. You can
And
prepare.
that's why it becomes so important, as you rightly said, to be educated, know what's happening to you. You know, it's so unfortunate. Women like you and me, who are so well educated, we take the most important decisions of our lives कि पढ़ाई कहाँ करनी है, शादी किसके साथ करनी है, शादी कैसे करनी है. But when it comes to childbirth, ना, again that white coat syndrome. We outsource our body to the doctors. जो डॉक्टर बोलेगा मैं सिर्फ वो ही करूंगी.
So much I
No,
accept.
you have to invest time in learning, in understanding what childbirth is. You have options galore, my friends out there. You have multiple options. You just have to invest time. Just invest time. And once you attend these Lamaze classes or hypnobirthing classes, you will find benefit by yourself. I get mothers, couples, when they attend these classes and they tell me, Priya, हमको तो ये पता ही नहीं था. I wish somebody could have told this to us in our first pregnancy. I wish doctor हमें बताते. मैं आपको एक और example देती हूँ ना. 34 weeks के बाद मदर के बॉडी में अपने आप से amniotic fluid थोड़ा सा कम होना शुरू हो जाता है. It's by
Correct.
nature, ठीक है, because the mother has to deliver the baby now. But डॉक्टर्स कभी भी ये एडवाइस नहीं करेंगे मदर को कि आपका एटलीस्ट 34 वीक्स के बाद से you should just naturally increase your water intake, ताकि कुछ अगर amniotic fluid कम भी हो रहा है, at least you are replenishing it. And मैं
Right.
बोलती हूँ कम हो भी क्या, no problem. The average from 34 weeks is, it can be anywhere between 12 to 14 centimeter. However, if it comes down to say a 5 centimeter or a 6
Hmm.
centimeter, it means that an induction will have to be done. Okay, but if it comes down to a 2 centimeter, that means an emergency C-section. But I've seen cases where when the lighter is even at say 8 centimeter, doctors will say, come, we have to do a C-section for you. And the mothers will go because they don't know what the statistics are, what the evidence is.
Correct. Correct. So, as you have also said, many places epidural. So, we have always heard of epidural as a pain management. So, what are the other ways in which a mom can find comfort in labor?
I think so. Before I answer, this question, let me tell you, moms,
Okay.
that epidural is not the only pain relief option that you have.
Oh,
There are so many other options. You just don't know because no one tells you about them. Okay. So I will first talk about hypnobirthing. Okay.
okay.
So I received several inquiries or questions from moms, from couples, on what exactly is hypnobirthing. Some people ask me, will I be hypnotized? Am I completely out during my labor? Will I wake up to find a baby on my chest? Okay, but the answer is no. Okay, there are no pendulums being swung. This is not stage hypnosis. In hypnobirthing, we teach concrete pain management techniques to help the mother get through labor and birth in a very calm, confident, and a positive manner. The basis of hypnobirthing is more like meditative birthing, right? In which the mother is able to go more within herself, shutting out all the distractions and focusing on what she is doing in a more positive way. So we teach her proper breathing techniques, head to toe relaxations, visual techniques, optimal birthing positions, and much more in pregnancy to better prepare her for labor. On a daily basis, the couples will have to practice, relaxations. We give them multiple MP3 audios that they have to listen to before they go to bed, but techniques which can be more easily applied throughout. And the whole idea of hypnobirthing is bringing the familiar into the unfamiliar territory. So hypnobirthing is all about that. Lamaze, as I just spoke to you about at the beginning of the call, Lamaze teaches natural childbirth coping techniques. Okay, again, comfort measures, relaxations. Okay, Lama's curriculum is rooted in evidence based maternity care. Okay, facilitating normal physiological birth is the foundation of Lamar's six healthy birth practice. And I just covered those practices at the start of this call, right? However, Lamar's is not only for people who want an unmedicated birth. Anyone who wants to prepare for the childbirth process, whether they are planning to use medication or not, benefit from Lamar's classes. Lamar's believes that no matter what kind of birth or a person, or what kind of birth you are desiring, being prepared can help boost confidence and provide a better experience, right? So I think in these classes we teach moms about comfort measures. We do a lot of acupressures. We talk about different positions you can take when you are in labor. What can you do in early labor? What can you do in active labor, in transition? How to, in what comfortable positions can you find for yourself to push the baby out? When to know this is the right time to hit the hospital. We also teach husbands, the partners, what can they do in different stages of labor to help the mom better. How can they visually assess the progress of labor just by observing the mom's face, eyes, listening to her breathing, her moaning. So I teach them that uh, my 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 motive is that I teach couples that, see, in labor, you and your partner have to work as like a well-oiled machine, right? You both have different roles, okay? And the birth partner will be prepared once you know what to prepare for. We also talk about aromatherapy. We teach multiple massages. We teach positive affirmations and so many. One last thing I want to talk about here, that apart from epidural, do you know you also have options available like in Entonox? You have sterile water injections. You have water births, hydrotherapy that you can avail. To I'm giving you these options aside from epidural, right? And I think the most important thing that you need to know is that we as human beings, we have two nervous systems. We have a sympathetic nervous system, which is known as an emergency response or a flight or a fight response. When we freeze, we release adrenaline. Our heart beats faster. Our blood gets rushed to our legs and arms so that we can run away. So it's a great thing to have when you see a tiger and you have to run to save your life. But you don't need adrenaline when you are in labor. Okay, when in labor, our parasympathetic nervous systems should be kicked in, which is going to help the mom's body in releasing a cocktail of hormones like oxytocins, like endorphins, right? So fear is a big one over here. So I think four things that are going to inhibit oxytocin and affect your labor is fear, stress, if you're getting into too much of chit chatting and too much of conversation, and when you're getting a feeling that you're being observed. So I think these are, and of course, I mean, I teach these things too much in detail, in my classes, but I could just give you a very high level view of what all do we cover.
So, Megha, as you also said, the birth partner.
Yes.
Right? So, who can be a birth partner? Is it always necessary to be your husband or to be a doula, or anyone can be a birth partner?
Anybody who eh, very good question, first of all. Okay, so anybody who can give you comfort in labor. Okay, good labor support is just making sure that you are undisturbed. Okay, irrespective of the amount of time your labor takes, just somebody by your side reminding you that you are doing a great job. Good labor support means reminding you that you should eat and drink, wiping your face when you are sweating, brushing your hair, right? Helping you change positions, whispering words of encouragement. Good labor support can just be your mother sitting on the couch and praying for you, right? It could just be your partner holding your hand and reminding you that you are doing an amazing job. You and I, we will soon be meeting our baby together, because labor is hard work. I'm not saying that labor is easy. However, you can reduce the perception of pain by enrolling yourself in different classes and practicing different comfort measures, right? So, like I often get asked, as a doula, are you going to replace my husband in the labor room? Okay, so this is what my view is. The partner or the father has a lot of emotional investment at this stage, right? And how we can help as doulas is to support the dads in this emotional journey, both physically and through information. I have seen this so many times that when I'm in the labor room, okay, the dad knows that there is a doula, okay, and there is somebody professional. They actually enjoy the labor more because they know they have a backup.
Right.
Mentally, they become much more stronger. That if in case a situation arises where I don't know what to do, I have somebody with me, right? Many times dads are first time dads and they may get overwhelmed looking at the condition of the mom, right?
Okay.
And but as a doula, we don't want either the mom or the partner to feel helpless, right? And the idea here for us is to support the women in addition to the dads and not replacing them. So the fact is that there will be a lot of emotional aspects where dads are needed if they choose to be, and they can do a wonderful job. Now, you also asked me that, how do I prepare partners? Okay, so there are
Right.
plenty of things they can do to help a mother, find relaxation. For example, they can massage, mom's, temples to help release stress levels. We teach different acupressure points here, on the ears, on the back. Okay. Second, reminding the mom to go to the bathroom every hour. A full bladder is not only uncomfortable, but it can even stall labor. Next, the father can try cool compresses on her neck or her face. Even just asking her to lightly wash her face can really make her feel good because she's working so hard, right? Encouraging her to drink fluids and eat. If the doctor is allowing, eating and drinking can help restore the energy which is needed for this mom, for this marathon of labor, right? Helping her change positions, encouraging labor to progress. Okay, some positions will provide her pain relief. Okay, if her back is hurting, we teach counter pressures, we teach double hip squeezes. Okay, just be there for her, listen to what she wants. She might not always want to be touched also, mind you, when she's in pain, right? But just by being, at her side, she will feel your presence. Verbally encourage her, help her into a warm shower. Water in labor is a very good option. You can carry, आप जब hospital bag prepare करते हो, you can even carry those electric heating pads, warm blankets, okay, to ease the pain. Remind her what she is doing, why she is doing all of this hard work is to meet the baby, right? So there are just so many things that the dads can do. In fact, we also talk about, birth ball positions. We have a full 1 hour practical class where the mom and the father will work together and practice all of these positions. So there are just so many things the dad can do.
So my next question was, of course, this only because this is not a topic which I'll be able to cover in a half an hour or maybe a day.
Exactly.
There are so many parts involved in this. There's so many classes, so many things and information that a dad to be and a dad to amount to be needs to understand, practice,
Exactly.
and to grasp that thing with the time. So, as you have also said and mentioned during our talk also that you conduct a lot of classes at different stages of pregnancy. So why don't you just introduce few of them with our mothers today?
So as I said, I take two classes. I take Lamaze classes and I take hypnobirthing classes. Both of these classes can be started. We recommend that they should be started anytime from the 26th week onwards. The duration of these classes these are separate classes. Lamaze is separate, hypnobirthing is separate, right? And so in whichever, class the mom or the couple wants to enroll, they can. And the sessions are usually like 4 sessions of 2 hours each. So in total, the time investment needed by the couple, at least 8 hours. Though I say 8 hours, I've seen at times because there's just so many discussions and conversations and back and forth happening that I actually do go overboard. That's just my nature to talk a lot. But 8 hours is minimum is what we are expecting. And the reason we say that you should start this anytime after 26 week because you need time to practice these as well,
Right.
right? I will be investing 8 hours with you. I will be taking those 4 sessions, but apart from those 4 sessions, you have to do a lot of practicing. So that's needed.
So I'm sure these all are a must to join classes for every mother rather than ending up directly having a C-section, going through that pain. Why not give yourself a very good, a very calm, and a very peaceful birthing experience which stays with you for longer years? So today we are here, mommies. We, along with Megha at Nutrizoe, we are offering a good discount of 20%. Any of the mothers who want to join Megha can DM us, and we'll help them connect with Megha. So I think, Megha, there's a mother, Gitanjali, and she's asking, how does nutrition plays a part in the pregnancy?
Nutrition plays a very important role. You have to, your body is growing this baby, inside you. You have to eat well to be able to provide the best nutrition to this soul which is growing inside you. Not just that, you also have to keep yourself, not just hydrated, but also give yourself a lot of nutrition in terms of, vitamin, minerals, eating more green leafy vegetables. There are a lot of do's and don'ts also that we cover in our nutrition class. What you should be avoiding, like we say, you should not eat like raw sprouts. Okay, that can make you feel gassy. It can make you feel acidic. Okay, there are certain categories of fish that we say you should not be eating, right? But nutrition is definitely, I think, more importantly, if when mothers have a condition like a gestational diabetes, you should be taking very well care of what you are eating, when you are eating, and what are you doing after eating. So I think nutrition, exercising can be in any form. It can be yoga, it can be walking. uh, Always a thumbs up.
So I'm sure this point that I have taken up is eat properly, but walk, walk, and walk. The most important part that Megha has,
Very
you have
important.
mentioned right from the beginning till end, that it is very important to be on your toes. Just walk. Does nutrition have impact on labor as well?
It's a very generic question. Unless and until I
That's a
don't know the
question.
entire case, I would not be able to answer. But nutrition, it depends what you are eating. I mean, if the whole day you are eating chocos and chocolates and sugary stuff, of course it's going to have an impact, right? So it's a very
Yes.
generic question. I don't know what the background is.
So thank you so much, Megha, for taking out time from your busy schedule and joining us and sharing so many informations all together. I'm sure all the mommies who have joined us today. So any one of you who want to join Megha for her class, please connect with us. We'll help you connecting with them. And once again, thank you so much, mommies, for joining us to share your love and feedback with us. Thank you so much, Megha.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you, moms, for listening to us. I
Thank
wish you all the best. Just know your birth options well.
Yes, yes, the most important thing.
Yeah.
Bye, dear. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye, mommies.